Hi guys, today I will be showing you how to make this wearable backless dress for your doll, and you'll need 277 single rubber bands to make it, and you can make it whatever style you want. Here's a picture of the dress on a Silver Mist doll, and compared to a regular size Barbie, it's a lot smaller. So if you want to make a dress for a regular size Barbie, you'll have to make it longer, and also the front of the dress you'll have to make it longer to fit your Barbie. You'll need your loom set in that configuration, so you want to change it, and we are going to use a total of 16 pegs. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We're going to use those pegs to make our dress, and also we want this area here open so we can push our dress through as we're doing each row, because it's going to get very long. So go ahead and pause your video and change your loom into that configuration and come back when you're done. So let's get started. First, we are taking a single band and we're going to twist it from the first to the second peg, and we're going to repeat the same process for our first row. So for the first 16 rubber bands, we're taking a single band, twisting it from one peg to the other, covering 16 pegs using 16 rubber bands. Push it down as you go. My last rubber band, and you should have 2 loops per peg, like that. In our second row, I'm using the same color, so I'm just looping it across from one peg to the other. Once again, covering all 16 pegs using 16 rubber bands. But if you want to make it for a Barbie, you might want to make it 20 pegs or more, because her hip is a lot wider. And you can use whatever color you want, any pattern you want. And also for the length, you'll need to make it longer for a regular size Barbie. So that's my second row. Now I'm going to go under, grabbing the bottom 2 bands, and I'm looping up and over to the center for all 16 pegs. And I'm going to repeat this 12 times for the bottom part of my dress. And if you're doing it for a Barbie, you might want to do it more than 12, which means you're going to need more rubber bands. This is already almost 300 rubber bands. Just go around all the pegs, looping the 2 bottom bands up and over to the center, and you can check to make sure you've done it all. You can see that you only have 2 loops per peg left. For my next row, row number 3, I'm going to add white So I'm taking 16 single white bands and looping it across. Covering all 16 pegs. This side here, the left side of my loom, is the front of my dress, so if you want the front to look a little different than the back, the center row is the back, then you can use your color accordingly. And the process is the same. We're looping a single band across, straight across, and then looping the bottom 2 bands up and over to the center, leaving 2 loops on each peg every single time. And I'm going to do this for a total of 12 rows. So this is row number 3, and I'm going to fast forward because you're going to just repeat the same process, looping a single band, 16 of them. If you're using 16 rows, it might fit your Monster High doll. I don't have one, so I can't say for sure this is the right size. But if it's the same size as Silver Mist from the Tinkerbell movie, then it should be good to go. So I'm going to repeat this. This was row number 3 for me, so I'm going to repeat it 9 more times. So go ahead and pause the video and finish up your 12 rows. So I'm on row number 12. I'm finishing up looping the bottom 2 bands up and over to the center. Push your dress down, and as you can see, it's starting to come out the back part of your loom. You'll need extra room if you want to make your dress longer, then continue. But here, row number 12 is done. I'm going to reduce for row number 13, push it all down, and near the bottom of our loom, I'm going to pull these 2 bands off and transferring it to this one or this one. So I'm pulling a loop off, and I see the other side is on this peg, so I'm going to loop this one onto the center peg, and then I'm going to loop this side onto the outside peg, the one on the right. I'm going to repeat for this side. So I'm going to pull these 2 loops off, and I'm going to see, so this one loop, the other side is already stuck onto this peg, so I'm looping it right onto the outside peg, and then this one, looping it to the center. So we are now down to 14 pegs. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Let's do our white for the waistband. I have the waist here for the dress. So this is the 13th row. So I'm going to take my white and coming around, covering the 14 pegs. And for my dress, this one on row number 7 and row number 9, I alternated between white and purple to give it a little bit of a different look. So we'll see how it turns out when we take it off the loom. So let's finish up row number 13 here. Go under the side pegs here, have 3 bands. Loop it up and over. You should have 2 bands left, or 2 loops left on each peg afterwards. Just go all around your loom. Push it all down. That was row number 13. And if you want it slightly longer, you can continue a little bit more. But I'm going to stop here, and now I'm just going to do the front row here. And for the front of the dress, it's already slightly small, so I'm going to make mine a little wider. And so this uses this is the front of the dress, so it uses 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bands. And this one I used 5 bands across, and that's how wide it is. So we'll make it a little wider this time. So taking my single band, I'm just covering these 7 pegs in the front. I'm going to loop up and over, and we're only doing this for the front of the dress. We're not touching the center pegs. Push it down, and now each peg should have 2 bands on them, the center ones, and then the side ones should have 1 band. And you're going to continue this for a total of 8 rows. And you can do more if your doll's torso is longer. So continue with a single band. I'm going to add a little bit of white so it's different from my first dress. So that was row number 2 for the front of the dress. Push all your rubber bands down and continue row number 3 to row number 8. Finishing up row number 8. And that should be enough for my dress. So if the torso of your doll is a little longer, go ahead and do another row or two. For row number 9, I'm doing all white, and you'll cinch it up around the neck on this row, so you can choose whatever color you want. Just taking white and looping it across the bottom, the top of my dress. Once again, loop up and over the bottom 2 bands, leaving two bands or 2 loops each in the center pegs and a single loop on the outside. And now I'm going to just take my hook and grab the loops off of each peg. The side ones should have 1 and the middle ones should have 2. Just get it off of each peg and onto your hook like that. And now we are going to take 2 single bands, get it on your hook, and pulling those white loops, the ones around your neck. You can use whatever color you want. This will go around your Barbie's neck. So pull all those bands onto the 2 single bands. And let's put it on this peg here, one side, so we can easily put a C-clip on. So take your C-clip and just attach it to one side of the loop. Now the one side is on my C-clip. Let's put the other side, the one that's on my finger. So I'm just going to slip it right into my C-clip. So this part right here will go on around my Barbie's neck. And let's cinch up the back. Same thing, we're just going to take our hook and we're going to each peg, pulling those 2 bands off. Make sure it doesn't slide off. Just get it, all the loops onto your hook, and we can pull the dress off of the loom. So there's my dress with some dots on it. And you can stagger your dots when you do another one differently. This is how this one came out. So I'm going to tie this off, getting it on 2 single bands. Same thing as the top, we're going to put the loop onto a hook and then pulling the loops from the back of the dress onto the 2 single bands. And we will tie it off like a slip knot, pulling the back side over the front and putting the hook through and tying it off, pulling it tightly, don't snap it, and if you want you can put a C-clip to tuck in the string inside the dress. So there's your dress, and I'll come back with the dress on my Silver Mist. I'll switch out her dress. So the new dress is on my Silver Mist doll, and I'm going to attach the neck part with you. I'm going to turn her around. I have the C-clip on one side. Hold it tightly or securely in your hand. Pull the other side that's on the hook, and we are going to slip it right into the C-clip, like that. So you should have the 2 loops onto the C-clip. So her dress is on. I hope you like it. Thanks for watching.